Has the reaction of the teenagers all over the world been just about the same as it is here in the United States? Because the reaction here has been just fantastic.
Well, in all the countries that we've been appearing in, there has been really fantastic reaction from all the kids. But of course, the United States has been more used to this sort of thing during past years, and so they know how to get things organized, and I should say that there was more organized, fantastic reaction here.
With the reaction of the teenagers just being so fantastic, I imagine you've had trouble in every hotel and at every concert hall you've appeared in.
Well, of course, everywhere you go, you're likely to run into mobs that are so vast that you are restricted in doing things in any normal way. So one has to run from places, hiding everywhere. This has been both great and a nuisance, if you can see what I mean.
Yes, I can. I wonder, have you had difficulty booking hotels? Because they do seem to have some difficulty once you get into them.
Well, I, of course, am not too much concerned with the actual booking of the hotels, but I do believe that there has been quite a bit of difficulty. There have been various instances when maybe anything up to 4 hotels have been expecting us.
So you book them multiply and then just pick one out, is that it?
I can never ever quite find out just who does the booking, but they're expecting us in many places. Of course, in other places, there are hotels that turn us from the door and just won't let us in because they're worried about what might just happen to the hotels and their damage.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that, and I do know that a couple of hotels have turned you down at the last moment. What do you do in these cases?
Well, one just has to trust to luck, and it usually works out all right. Someone feels that they would like to have the lads in the hotel of theirs so that they get that extra bit of publicity.
Right, and they certainly do get a great deal of publicity out of it.
And I have to add that, in fact, there's not much damage done to the hotels, really. I mean, all the kids are interested in doing is trying to get to see the boys, and just seeing the boys isn't going to mean they get to tear down the walls.
Is the reaction of American teenagers very, very similar to the reaction of European teenagers?
Well, in Europe, we have only toured in a few countries. It's been very limited there. And there are, of course, many fewer teenagers in Europe. Of course, they turn out en masse, but you can't really expect to get quite such a large crowd as you do here. Again, as I said, teenage hysteria, if I can use the word, is much more organized in this country.
Would you mean that it's something of a claque? I don't think you do.
I wouldn't say that. No, I mean that, as I said earlier, for so long, teenagers in this country have been screaming at idols, whereas it is a fairly recent thing in Europe in general.
Is there any way that you could differentiate between the British sound and the American sound in music today?
Oh boy, what is the British sound and the American sound? I mean, in England, people are playing guitars and drums, I suppose you would say, and a few of the groups are using organs as well. Whereas in America, you get more produced sounds. I think that is the main difference, one could say. But don't forget, pop music is a very, very wide field of music.
Would you say that the group is at its best when they're before a large audience or when they're in a recording studio all by themselves?
Well, naturally, when they are in a recording studio, they can hear each other, which is going to help their harmony. They love appearing before huge, great audiences, but as I believe a lot of people realize, with the microphones placed so far apart, they can't hear what each other are singing, so they very often do sound out of harmony if anyone can hear them.
Yes, but the excitement of these live concerts is just so fantastic that I know that the teenagers love listening to it, and I imagine that the fellas just kind of get in the groove with it and maybe work a little bit harder when all those kids are out there yelling and screaming for them.
Let's say they do their best, and they're having a real ball up there on stage. And of course the kids know all the songs anyhow, and so it doesn't really matter whether they hear them or not.
That's right. That's rather unusual, but you're very, very right. And I'd like to thank you very, very much.
been a pleasure.